There is a group of people in the UK who believe that by submitting a document to the government, they can detach themselves from society and thereby avoid all statutory responsibilities. They don't need to pay tax. They don't need to follow the law. They don't need driving licenses, etc., etc. Now, conspiracy theorists are one thing. They really get my goat. Goat? Yeah, they get my goat. Flat earthers. Pretty stupid people. But sovereign citizens? Yeah. Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Creaky Weekly. Now, I've been asked on a number of occasions to have a look at sovereign citizens, or freemen as they're known in the UK, and thus far I have resisted. But I came across something today and I thought, yeah, let's talk about it. So what is a freeman or a sovereign citizen? So basically, as I said at the beginning, they're a group of people that believe for some bizarre reason that they're above the law and that they don't have to listen to what anyone tells them, which is fine. But they also believe that legislation can only be enforced by consent. So, for example, if the government says pay your tax and they say, but I don't want to, then they expect the government to just say, oh, okay then. Capitalisation and punctuation of your name is really important. This is why you will often see freemen or sovereign citizens referring to themselves as first name of of last name, which makes no sense at all because names are labels, names are bad. Law courts only operate under admiralty law, which is a maritime law. We don't live on the sea. So how does that work? And that the government is a corporation that is constantly trying to coerce people to enter into contracts with it.
Why?
So pretty much 99% of... No, hang on, 99%, that's a bit generous. 100%, nothing that sovereign citizens say makes any sense to a rational human being. So let's have a look at a few of these sovereign citizens in action.
Sir, you are speeding and I have pulled you over for speeding.
What's your badge number? Can I see it?
You can have my badge number, it's 14291.
Now, I do feel a certain amount of responsibility to warn you that these people are absolute dicks. You have been warned.
And what's your name?
PC Millington.
All right.
And I have pulled you over. Keep filming, because this needs to be seen.
Yes.
Coming down the parkway, yeah, speeding. I've had to come up 60 miles an hour to catch you up.
Oh yeah, you had to, but I wasn't speeding. You had to speed up to me.
Do you know what? This is 40 miles an hour. You're doing 20 miles over the speed limit.
Yep, you heard him right. So he's travelling on a 40 mile an hour road at 60 mile an hour. The police officer said she had to speed up to 60 mile an hour to pull him over. And he's now... Let's just watch it.
You have been speeding in this vehicle, which is why I have pulled you, because you are completing and moving...
What laws say I cannot speed? I'm traveling. I'm not driving.
Good, eh?
Okay, let's recap a little. What law says he cannot speed? The law of the land. The laws put in place by the Highways Agency to keep people safe on our roads. And he says he's travelling, which he is, but that he's not driving. Now, I could be wrong, but isn't he in the driver's seat of a car that was moving 20 miles per hour over the 40 mile per hour speed limit? So I'm no expert.
But I'm pretty sure that means you were driving, mate.
Because travelers don't, follow any regulations.
What
We don't
speed are
have
you
to.
travelling?
Magna Carta 1215 says, chapter 6. No, sorry, chapter I think is 13. One of the
What speed
chapters
are you
says
travelling, sir?
a traveler can travel on Queen's Road unhindered.
So his justification for speeding on a public roadway is the Magna Carta 1215 in chapter 6. Oh no, wait, maybe chapter 30. No, one of the chapters
From 12:15.
says it's okay.
You were
Sir?
speeding, you're driving on a road and you're doing more than the speed limit.
What speed
Yeah,
are you
those
doing?
laws only apply to drivers, not to travelers,
What?
sir.
Well, in that case, it's lucky for these police officers who are exercising an extreme amount of patience, in my opinion. It's lucky for these officers that you are, in fact, driving your car.
No, I don't want to get out of my
It
vehicle.
doesn't matter what you want, sir. I need to check out this vehicle. I need to check you out as well.
I know my laws, alright?
What?
I know my laws, rights.
I know the law. and
No,
I
you don't know the law.
rights.
You don't know
And
the
I'm
law
telling
because
you,
you
sir,
cannot discern between driver and a traveler.
So, I know the law. Okay? Judge Dredd. So, he knows the law. The police officer doesn't know the law because she can't distinguish between somebody who's driving and somebody who's a traveller. No, the only thing she can... Just say, yeah, I was speeding, you've got me, sorry, I won't do it again, just give me the ticket. Like a normal person. How can you possibly try and argue your way out of a small fine, if that's the route she decides to go down? How can you possibly use a document written in 1215 to try and justify that you've broken the law? I mean, I thought flat earthers were stupid, but this guy... Now, Creaky, I hear you say, it's all very well showing us how stupid some British people can be. But what about our friends in America? Well, you didn't think I'd leave you guys out, did you? Let's see how this... Let's see how a similar scenario plays out across the pond.
I need a Supreme Court. As you're aware, Supreme Court says you have to show 3 forms of identification before I can contract with you. I need a business card, and I'm gonna need a badge number as well, sir, for the record.
Badge number is 4325. Listen, man, the only reason that I'm stopping you is because you have an expired tag, bro. That's it.
Yeah, I actually don't have a tag, and this is for the record. What was your name again?
I'm Officer Mata.
Officer Mata. May I shake your hand?
No, sir.
Okay.
So, for the record, I don't have a tag. May I shake your hand? No? Okay then. Awkward.
Officer Mata, for the record, I am, this is a United States Army.
Thank you very much for your service, sir.
Yes, sir. For the record, this is a personal good. I'm not commuting commerce right now. I'm not actually, according to Texas Transportation Code Chapter 201 subsection K, I'm not, according to law, have to have a tag on here. I was actually going to, though, for the record, because I do commute commerce in this automobile. Okay? So, let me show you for the record what's going on here.
For the record, what's going on here is you seem to be saying, for the record, a record amount of times. Wouldn't it be easier just to follow the law than have to memorize subsection 2.86/32 slash? That's made me want to pee. I'll be back now. Sorry about that. Wouldn't it be easier to just be a law-abiding citizen than have to memorize all this useless information? And I call it useless because unless you're a law enforcement officer or a lawyer, then what real use is it? Apart from trying to win an argument like this that you'll never win because you're breaking the law.
This automobile, for the record, not vehicle, not motor vehicle, but automobile, non-commercial motor vehicle, was just purchased. And I'm not going to answer any questions.
Look at his mate just sitting in the passenger seat, staring out the window, laying back, pretending he's asleep. You can imagine he's sat there thinking,
Oh, for God's sake, just be like everyone else.
Officer, just so you know, I'm not going to answer any questions without my attorney here, okay? I wish to engage that. There's that. I will engage my Fourth Amendment that keeps me safe in my person, my property, my papers against illegal searches and seizures and unlawful detainments. I wish to engage in my Fifth Amendment.
I'm not asking to look into your car.
Okay, in my Fifth Amendment, for the record.
The only thing that I said was that I was stopping you because it showed on my computer that your tag was expired.
Absolutely.
The only thing I was going to do is ask for your driver's license.
Absolutely.
Check that, and then you're all
Absolutely.
You know, like, I'm not here to violate any other kind of rights. Okay.
Right. And again, for the record, I don't have to have a driver's license to commute in a personal good.
the police officer hasn't asked him anything apart from, why have your tags expired? Now, I could Google this, but I'm far too lazy. Tags, that's the same as road tax in the UK, I believe, but I could be wrong, as hard as that may be to imagine. And this guy is going into a obviously well-rehearsed spiel about his Fourth Amendment rights and his Fifth Amendment rights. All the police officers asked him is for his license and registration. It's absolute insanity. Wouldn't it just be easier to just do things the proper way?
Again, I'm not going to answer any questions, officer. With all due respect, okay. I'm a Blue supporter. Yes, sir.
And I appreciate that.
Yes, sir.
Okay. But
may I stop? May I take a deep breath for a second?
You can take as many breaths as you want, mate. It's a free country. He wants to take a deep breath. It's obvious why. In any debate scenario, if you want a few seconds to compose your thoughts and work out what to say next, you take a breath, because it buys you that little bit of time you need to come up with the next piece of information you're going to give.
You have a gun? Sure. And I'm very... does that make sense?
Very what? You didn't say anything. You said,
You have a gun and I'm, does that make sense?
Well, no, it doesn't make sense because you haven't said anything. Right, I think we've pretty much cleared up that American sovereign citizens are just as idiotic as British freemen. And we could just end the video there, but I'm not going to do that. Let's visit an old familiar friend who's got something to say on the subject of freemen or sovereign citizens. It's everyone's favourite piss drinker. It's allegedly Dave.
This is a video response to Nokia Man 2002, his video entitled A Message to All Freemen. You look like a genuine bloke. You're obviously a police officer. You appear to be looking for answers with regards to the freeman position. I can understand your confusion. The freeman position is basically at odds with everything you've learned as a police officer, or your training or your conditioning. And yeah, I can totally understand that. One thing that comes across in your videos very strongly is that you have some very strong beliefs and opinions. But have you really examined where those beliefs and opinions come from?
Right, Dave, my old mate, I've got to be honest, I really don't think that the policeman's beliefs have got any relevance to what you're talking about. Let's look at you. You're a flat earther. You drink your own piss. You're a free man, and as such you believe you're above the law and that no laws apply to you, and neither do you have to pay tax. Oh, I wish. And you've tried the breatharian diet, which means that at one point you truly believed that food and water were not necessary to your survival. And we all know how well that went, Dave. So this raises a question to me. Freemen believe that the law has got no authority over them, or anyone, of if they choose to live that way. Is that fair to say? So, let me ask you this, Dave Murphy. If somebody was to burgle your home tonight while you and your family were asleep in bed, and they were to steal all your possessions, your car, your TV, everything you own, who would you phone? Is there like a secret freemen society that would sort out the problem for you? Or would you then revert to the norm and call the police and ask them for their assistance in apprehending the perpetrators of the crime? Or is it not a crime to burgle somebody's house if you are in fact a freeman? I just wondered if you'd mind clearing that up for me, Dave.
What if I told you that the television, the newspapers, popular fiction, schools, and even your training, they're all complicit in trying to present the world from a particular view?
I'd say you were a complete dickhead who needs to get out more and stop buying into such nonsensical bullshit.
Showing the world in just from one viewpoint. Have you actually looked into where taxpayers' money goes? You seem to believe it goes in certain places, but have you actually checked it out? Who pays for the roads? You seem to believe you know where that money comes from, but have you actually looked into it? What about, you also said about the NHS, same thing. Have you looked into it? I would suggest, and again, I don't mean to be derogatory or anything.
Well, unfortunately, Dave, I do not share that sentiment. I absolutely mean to be derogatory towards you because you are an arsehole, a complete dick, and you're 100% wrong. Now, you go on to say that the NHS is paid for by national insurance. No, mate, it isn't. National insurance is one of the things that is used to contribute towards the state pension, the pension that the elderly people of the UK get once they pass retirement age, which is given to them essentially as a combination of money from the government, tax money, and contributions they've made throughout their working life via national insurance. All this money has to come from somewhere, Dave. Otherwise the country would be on its knees. So I would hazard a guess and say it's you that needs to do a little bit more research, not this police officer that serves this country. And Dave, you're nothing but a stain on the British country. A piss stain.
But rather than studying videos, perhaps you should study some legal dictionaries, Hansard's, Halsbury's Laws of England, Archibald's, even the statutes themselves. That will start actually giving you a real view of what the freeman position is, with no ambiguity.
So I've got to say, how much of an arrogant, condescending prick have you got to be to try and tell a police officer that he doesn't know the law and that you do? I mean, I can't... I just don't understand what goes through the mind of people like this. Like I said earlier, who does he call when he needs help? Superman?
You can't deny or you can't debunk what we believe because it's written there in black and white by the people who supposedly make all these laws in inverted commas.
Right, air quote, are usually a pretty good indicator to me that it's time to stop watching a video. But not mine. No, stay. It's not the end yet. But it's very close. All that remains is for me to thank my Patreons. Now, I think I've sussed the problem out. Please say I've sussed the problem out. And if I have, they should be on screen now. Or travelling across screen. Maybe up screen. Whichever way suits the best. But as always, if it's your first time here, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and turn on bell notifications. I've been the Creaky Blinder, and I thank you as always for watching. Don't forget to check out these two playlists here for a full and comprehensive catalogue of my content. And I will see you all next time. Take care, guys. Bye-bye.